In February, at an event in Dharamshala, in India, a young boy wanted to meet and hug His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. This young lad, though, got more than he bargained for, and a reminder to be careful what you wish for. He got his hug. The Dalai Lama then gestured for the boy to kiss him on the mouth, and he did, sharply pulling away after making contact with what I presume are a crusty-ass pair of lips. Not content to even leave it at that, the Dalai Lama then told the boy, not asked, told the boy to suck his tongue, sticking it out and pushing his face closer to the boy's before backing off, laughing, and giving the boy a pat on the arm. There are some ways in which this story isn't as bad as people think it is, but other ways in which it is much, much worse. The one way in which it isn't as bad is just that I've seen people who thought the sucking occurred. It didn't. It came close, but didn't. Some of the vids where the boy's face is blurred make it unclear, but I've seen an uncensored version. Additionally, in terms of this not being as bad as it seems, oh, that's it. Now on with the show. The immediate nastiness is obvious. If, say, a teacher behaved like this in an assembly in front of their school, they should and hopefully would lose their job. If some stranger pulled this with your kid in the street, you would probably attack them. I don't need to go into this baseline judgment of what occurred, the actions themselves, very easy to judge. So what was the Dalai Lama doing? Not just literally, but what was his intent? His Twitter, yes, he has an official managed Twitter, put out a statement explaining it was just some light-hearted mischief he likes to engage in. Ho ho, very fun, pressuring a child to do these things. Nice meme. I have to say, however, that even if he had no sexual feelings about it and it genuinely was nothing more than a jape, it's still messed up. If you have children, or have been around children, maybe relatives, maybe you teach them. Personally, I taught guitar for years, and some of the kids were as young as 6 or 7. Anyway, if you're familiar with kids, you know these are not just small adults who don't know as much as someone older. Kids need guidance, and they are pretty much hard programmed to be influenced by authority, at least until they become more familiar and start taking the piss a bit, bending rules, acting out, and so on. But the first encounter with a given authority figure? They're scared. I'm sure there are exceptions, real rowdy wild kids I mean, who don't give a shit, but I've personally never run into one. They want to do the right thing. They don't want to mess up or get in trouble. They might be scared there'll be consequences for things that aren't even misbehavior. And so, beyond the general duty everyone has to protect and treat kids correctly, when you are in a position to exert any kind of authority over a child, you must exercise it for their benefit. To do anything else is abuse, in my eyes. That's not to say you can't be silly, especially if it helps to break the ice or let them relax a bit. Let's imagine something mischievous, like the Dalai Lama wanted to do. Say the kid's wearing a hat. Hey, can I have that for a sec? You point to the hat. They hand it to you, you put it on sideways or askew, and ask what they think. If it suits you. Hopefully they'll laugh. Easy. What you don't do, Your Holiness, is test the limits of a child's enthrallment to your authority for your own pleasure and laughs. That is sick, even if you don't do anything that is in and of itself over the line. But it's doubly sick when you push the line using what they're willing to do with their mouth and your organs as a benchmark. Compounding this further is that he has the weight of both religious and political and the intertwined forces of both behind him. And it was in front of an adoring audience, so even if the child wasn't fully aware of who the Dalai Lama is, he knew there was heavy pressure to behave correctly. This is worse than if a stranger on the street interacted with your kid like this. This is worse than if a teacher did this in front of the school. People are making these kinds of comparisons to say, well, we wouldn't accept it there, so why from him? But it goes further than that. His actions compare disfavorably with these hypothetical scenarios in my eyes, and those scenarios are pretty bad. Some people are arguing that sticking your tongue out is a traditional Tibetan greeting, so nothing bad happened. Cool. I don't know if that's true. Don't care. And it doesn't matter because that's not what happened. Oh, the Dalai Lama, he hid inside a toilet bowl and stuck his tongue up a kid's ass. But it's fine because sticking your tongue out is a traditional Tibetan greeting. Fuck off. Dawa Tsering, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, a member of the Tibetan parliament in exile, so one of the Lama's main men, is quoted in The Independent as having said, "At the Dalai Lama's temple, a child asked him if he could hug Dalai Lama, and he said yes. Then he asked for a kiss, and Dalai Lama did a kiss. Then jokingly Dalai Lama said, 'You can suck my tongue.' So that was a part of a joke or just to play with the kid, so we should not go more than that." I'll repeat part of that. Then jokingly Dalai Lama said, "You can suck my tongue." Did he? Have you guys seen the video? That's not quite right, is it? Let's look at a tiny clip of the exchange a couple times.
And suck my tongue. And suck my tongue.
Sounds to me like "and suck my tongue," not "you can suck my tongue." Small difference, but the latter's definitely better, little bit less aggressive. It's an invitation, not an imperative, like he actually expressed to the child. As a bonus meme, remember this guy in his statement said the kid asked for the kiss on the lips? Go watch the video of the Dalai Lama. I don't want to get copyright striked or something. Go check it out yourself. Look who asked for the kiss on the lips. Spoiler, it's not the kid, but it's very important to this guy to flip everything. Wonder why? Maybe he knows it's fucked. These people are propagandizing and trying to distort reality to protect an old man being weird with kids. I don't give a fuck about your Buddhist tongue folklore, which, now I've looked, has nothing to do with telling kids to suck your tongue. What a surprise. Nor would it make sense to pull out in the context, which is clearly an old man getting a kick out of escalating the situation with a child. It's not, hug me, kiss me, do this traditional Tibetan gesture that no one can question. It was, hug me, kiss me, and suck my tongue. To say it's tradition and a different culture that shouldn't be judged from other perspectives is to suggest that a child who doesn't suck an old man's tongue when told to is acting improperly and with incorrect etiquette. It's to say that the child here did wrong by not sucking your idol's tongue. If that's accurate, sorry, but you have a pedo culture and you are a pedo nation. Is that what you want to be? Is that what you actually are? I didn't think so before. You'd really prefer that over saying, yeah, he's an old creep, or yeah, he's losing it. Alright, fine. We'll say it for you, since you're too invested and too much of a coward. And no, you can't be offended, because insulting creeps who toy with children is part of my culture. You wouldn't understand. But, as usual, that's just another one of my harmful opinions.